Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog, and in today's video we're going to be talking about bearings. So this is a default 608 bearing that I'm going to be using for my weapon. So right now 608 bearings come greased pretty heavily because they're meant to be used on, for example, skateboards or roller skates. And essentially, if you have a really heavy weight being pushed down on something, they're going to need a lot of grease to run smoothly to do its job. So I'm going to pry this open, and because this is a rubber insulation or guard, it's going to be significantly easier to take apart. So I'm using this flathead screwdriver and trying to get under the insulation. There we go. So now that we have it open, and I'm gonna bring it close to the camera, I'll open the other side as well to further show how much grease is in here. There we go. So these two right here are the guards that came off, and let the camera focus. You can see how much grease is in there. And now for my combat robot, I'm not going to be putting a lot of weight on it, rather I want it to spin really fast. Now check this out. I'm going to spin it and it barely moves. Please focus. There we go. See, it barely moves. Normally when you spin it, if it's degreased, it's going to be like a fidget spinner and spin really fast. So I don't need that much friction for my combat robot weapon, so I need to find a way to remove all this grease. Now, I'll be using isopropyl alcohol, and it should be around 90%, but I'm not very sure because I don't have it in its original container. And basically, I'm going to create a small bath for this and try to wash out some of the grease, and then probably re-lubricate it using just some machine oil. And just to give you guys a sense of how much grease is in here, I'm gonna take this, and this is not recommended, this is just for video purposes, and I can literally scoop out all that grease. And in a sense, this is almost like Vaseline or petroleum jelly, and this is creating a ton of friction, preventing this thing to spin freely. Okay, we're now at my sink, and I'm gonna take this spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol and pretty much just apply some in here. There's not a lot left. Hopefully I can get some up the straw. Yeah, that should be enough. And basically what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna rinse it out a little bit. Try to get as much of the excess grease off of it. And it is highly recommended to not do this with water because that can create rusting on your bearing, which would be a terrible thing. And I will be blowing this off with a hair dryer to completely dry it off, to remove any excess moisture. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright, I finished my scrub and it's looking a lot cleaner. There's still some grease on there, but I'm gonna be using this like quote-unquote compressed air blower to try to dry it off. Alright, so now it's pretty dry, so it should be prevented from rusting, but you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Basically now I'm using this lubricant, basically just machine oil, I guess you can say, and just giving it a small or a generous amount of oil basically. And probably it's a good idea to roll it around a few times. And you can see now it spins a lot more freely, which is what we want for something that is low load. Unlike skateboard bearings, which if you have a 200-pound guy on there, that's going to be a lot of weight on bearings. So yeah, if you want to avoid doing this entire grease removal thing, simply buy bearings that aren't greased. You can just specifically search up fidget spinner bearings, for example, on Amazon, because fidget spinners, like combat robots, they aren't under a lot of load, so obviously they don't need that much grease. So that's gonna be it for today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe to follow along my journey of building a combat robot every little step at a time. Thank you. But yeah, I took the lid off, and here's a side-by-side comparison. It's been a couple days since I cleaned the bearing. I used a toothbrush to get rid of any last little bits, and this definitely spins a lot better. You can feel it's like a lot smoother and more responsive, and there's no rusting, probably because I used the compressed air blower, so no water remains, so it spins perfectly smooth now. Alright, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to follow along my combat robot building vlog.